Hi, Elle Ingalls here at pressure-free.com, elleingles.com, creator of the Pressure-Free Method. And this is a second part of something I started yesterday with you. So just want to continue on this idea of what it takes to really make change happen in your life, really incredibly supercharge new initiatives so that you continue them and you don't just get all enthusiastic and then it just dies. So I want to share some really clear tips to some how-tos on that particular item for you, because I know that people start initiatives and give up way too soon. So yesterday I talked about how Americans are very enthusiastic for like a month or even a few days, and then we give up really, really easily. So there's a lot of failure rate on initiatives that we have, and it might just be trying to lose weight or starting a new business or starting something new within your job, a new project, and people get frustrated. So I want to share some things that can help with that. Yesterday, what I shared is that you've got to keep using your pressure-free tools so that you don't lose willpower. So there are two places in the cortex that willpower is really important. And if you trigger the stress hormones, you're going to shut that down. It's going to make it harder for you to keep going. Hi, Mitch. Nice to see you here. So I'm going to use my whiteboard today. I'm going to talk about something first called sigmoid curves. And I learned this idea from one of my coaches, the best-selling author, Robert Allen. So Robert Allen was teaching about sigmoid curves, and he has a really cool book actually about mapping your progress. And I have a little added little thing that I add to this too. So basically what I have here, if you can see my whiteboard, there's a little reflection, sorry about that, is that you've got these like S curves, and they keep going, okay? So what happens, I'm going to start right here, and you're going to see that at first when you start an initiative, you're pretty excited. Like there's a little up of the curve, right? You're excited and you're starting to do things. But then there's a learning curve. There are things you need to learn, maybe investments you need to make in order to learn and to make this thing happen. But then all of a sudden it starts to turn around a little bit and you're seeing some results. And then there tends to be a moment where the growth gets really exponential. And then that initiative is going to start to taper off a little bit. So before the tapering starts, you need to begin something new. If you work on your body at all, you know you can't do the same exact workout over and over and over again and expect different results. You've got to start a new little initiative in there, or maybe you're really bored with what you're doing. You need to start something new in order to spark your enthusiasm again. So when you start to feel any sort of tapering going on, you need to start something new. And again, you're going to have that enthusiasm that then goes down into the learning curve of you're learning this new thing. You're feeling kind of stupid doing it. Do you ever start something new physically and you're like, wow, I'm really clumsy here? So you're starting something new, learning, and then all of a sudden you're getting returns. And then the returns shoot up exponentially. And again, it's going to taper off again. And you need to start again. A little bit of enthusiasm. Oh, it's getting a little bit hard. You need to keep going to get that incredible boost here. What happens is most people give up right around in here. They don't feel like they're making enough progress. They're not seeing the results right away. And so we give up before we've even started this ascent. I bet you can think of things you've done that you gave up way too soon. And you look back and you say, wow, I wish I could have had the staying power. So I want to give you some real cool tips to help you with the staying power. First, just understand this pattern. Understand that you're probably going to go into a little bit of time where you need to make an investment or you need to do some harder work than you thought it was going to be. Oh my gosh, that has happened so much to me in my life. Like the work is harder and we're such an instant society. You want it right away. So one of the main tools that I use, and I use it pretty much every day, is something I call a checklist. It can be as small or as big as you want, but put down on your checklist, let's see, I have 30 items on mine. As many items as you think you need, that if you do these items in the next 24 hours, you know you're going to be making progress toward whatever it is you're working on. So for example, 3 of my checklist items are 3 different, what I call 90-minute blocks. So 3 90-minute blocks of concentrated work on content for my business. I might be working on the book I'm writing. I might be providing videos for this course I'm doing. So it's 3 90-minute blocks, really solid in there. I have all kinds of things on my checklist. I have different workouts that I like to do twice a day on my checklist. I even have drinking more water on my checklist. I have all these things on my checklist that are pushing me to that next level, helping me stay on track with that next level. And I'm pretty tough with myself. I have a lot of things on my checklist. You can be as easy with yourself or as hard as you want with yourself, but making a little checklist of these things that you're going to commit to doing every day, or at least have in your consciousness that you're doing them every day. So first is a checklist, really important tool. The second is accountability. This can be scary for people to actually connect to another human, like not just through a screen, but connect to another human to stay accountable, maybe just for your checklist. Maybe that's all you need to do with your accountability partner. Say, wow, I did 17 out of 20 today. But you're reporting to someone what it is that you actually did. And this is for personal goals or private goals. You know, if you have a workout goal, you can have a workout accountability partner. You're just letting each other know whether or not you did it. So typically, people will have a weekly accountability partner or a daily. I have a 5 times a day daily accountability, 2 of them, actually 2 accountability partners, one for strategic planning for my business and another for all aspects of my business. I talk to her every single day at 8 a.m. my time, 6 a.m. her time. So accountability partner is huge. I also have a weekly accountability partner. We're kind of looking at more overarching things, more strategy, and I talk to him once a week. So I have 3 accountability partners in my business, in my life. But start with one. If you've never had one before and you want some tips on that, private message me. Let's have a private call where I can go deeper in how this could be helpful to you. Accountability is huge, and it can be scary because I know the first time that I put a daily one in, I had a lot of resistance. Am I seriously going to talk to somebody every single day, 5 days a week? The work days, Monday through Friday, do I feel as though I could commit to that? I've been doing it now for 2.5 years, over 2.5 years. My other accountability partner I've had for 3 full years, my weekly one, and then my new one I just started in November. So that can be a really important thing for you to do. So you've got your checklist, you've got your accountability, and then the next tip that I have for you is this thing about resistance. If you feel resistance towards some of the things on your checklist, you need to do a review and say, is this something that I really need to go forward? I'm getting a lot of resistance here. And the other thing I want you to really be careful of is that you don't try to force against the resistance, or you'll probably see the resistance grow and be more like pushing back at you. Instead, the tip that I use with my clients when they feel resistance is to actually relax, backpedal, and develop inner power to be more powerful about it, rather than that external trying to force against it. So it's something that I teach deeply with my clients because there's so many things that can cause us to have those blocks. And most of them are limiting beliefs. So the one thing I want you to just notice is, oh yeah, I have some resistance on this one thing. Is that because this thing on my checklist is a little harder for me to do, or maybe I'm not committed to it, or I don't see the purpose and the need in sight? And that comes back to the 3 steps of the pressure-free method. Step number 1. And those are, what are your targets? What do you really want to accomplish here? What is really important to you? Are you trying to prevent a disease? Are you trying to up-level your position in your job? Are you trying to start a new business and you need it to be successful? Do you need more money? Do you need more health? Do you need to perform better? Do you need a better relationship with someone in your life? So, what are your targets? What are your reasons for even having this checklist? Even starting any initiative, like, what is that really about? You need to really define your targets. And I love another coach of mine, he says to virtualize your targets. So put all your senses in it. Like, this is what it feels like when I've achieved this. This is what it smells like, tastes like. This is how I hear what I hear around me. For example, I want to speak on a lot of stages in the next 3 years to bring pressure free to a lot of different people. And so one of the things I hear people just being super enthusiastic. That's the sound I hear. You know, there's a minister in Africa who shares pressure free with his church. And he was sharing with me that they were building an addition onto the church. And he had the whole crowd. He said, "We are going to build this church pressure free." You know, I keep having that in my head, hearing people shout out, "Yes, pressure free." It's just such a cool thing. So just to recap, this is thinking about why people give up so soon and how to overcome, you know, that initial enthusiasm and then the giving up. So we tend to give up just before we start to hit some exponential growth. And that's what we help you do here in Pressure Free. Become more resilient, become emotionally resilient so you don't trigger fight or flight and lose your willpower and lose your good decision making. And also lose the memory of your enthusiasm at the beginning here. Because when times get tough, we give up way too soon, way too easily. And there's so many times in my life when I've done it. And then so many times where I broke through that resistance and did the work and made the investment and believed, deeply believed that I could get onto this track of exponential growth. So then watch out, because any initiative that you do is going to have some sort of downturn. What are you going to do next? How are you going to revitalize? How are you going to take something and make a little twist in it so now it looks different? If you're in a business, you might have to do a new marketing initiative or create a new product. You're doing something new here that's going to take you into a new direction. So watch for your sigmoid curves. You can actually chart these out. It's kind of fun to do that. And then create your checklist. Find someone to be accountable. Find someone who's really going to hold your feet to the fire, believe in you, even when the days are tough, and be there for you during the struggles when it's tough. I don't know where I would be without my accountability partner during my tough time. We reminisce because we remember like 2.5 years ago, 2 years ago, so when things were really, really hard. And yet we pushed through and we stayed together and we made it happen and we collaborated. So accountability and the last is resistance. Look for if you feel resistance, just notice it. Don't try to force against it or it'll probably push back at you really hard. Instead, keep using your pressure-free tools so that you don't overreact to that resistance. And also begin to really seek inside you, what are my targets? Why am I doing this? Revitalize how important your target really is for you. So I hope that's helpful. It's nice to see Gail here, Mitch here. Feel free to leave a comment, to private message me. If you want to know more, go to elleingles.com. You can just click contact or go to speakwithelle.com. That's the fastest way to get on my calendar if you would like to have a real in-depth talk with me about how pressure-free could make a difference in your life, how pressure-free could help you overcome anger, anxiety, problems with stress, and really start to uplift and change that for you. Thank you for the love, Gail. Love it so much. And I wish you a beautiful Friday night. Have a good one. Bye.